First off, I love you guys. You're awesome.
Thank you.
I love Batman, Batwoman, but I also love Nick.
Oh, all right, twerp. Thank you very much.
Now, you guys were talking just at the beginning about acting in video games, and you've both done video game roles. So my question was, what was it like, you guys, if you guys played a video game where you voiced a playable character, like you play Arkham City, playing as Batman. Kevin was doing that. What was that like?
Well, it's always so, I'm sure you have the same reaction, it's always so weird to hear your own voice coming out of the character, because it's like, it doesn't look like me.
Unless it's Azula, which looks exactly like.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's always so weird, but it's an odd experience. But you know, but then I always think, God, that's a good actor.
Turn it up. Turn it way up. my friend's friend plays Diablo 3, and I'm the female wizard, and so he always feels like he's spent a lot of time with me. Like every time I see him, he's like real extra familiar, and I don't really know him very well, but he was like, oh, I was playing you the other day. We had a great time. It was a good afternoon.
Okay, next, got a question?
Yes, I first off want to say thank you both for coming all the way here to Sacramento. It means so much to us fans. And I have a question for Ms. DeLisle. What did you think of the character Jeanette and Therese from Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, and how did you feel about voicing those two?
That was one of my favorite, most challenging. I played these twins, like an evil twin and a nice twin, and they just, one goes totally nuts. And it was, so it was my most challenging role, besides Azula, probably, she was crazy too. But yeah, that was a long time ago, but it was a really wonderful video game, and I'm really proud of the work that I did in that, and it's one of my favorites. So whenever people bring that to be signed, I'm always like, oh, we got ourselves a psycho here. This is good. Nice connection.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First of all, good morning to you both. My question is, going back through the acting and the roles that you played, you were Catwoman, you were as Batman, and you go through your lines and you look at the script, and as an actor, sometimes you're always taught that if a line doesn't go your way, make it go your way. How many times have you actually looked at your script and you read the line and you said, you know what, this isn't working for me, let's try something else? How many times have you both had an opportunity to do that?
I always try to make it work if I can, just because I don't want to be that difficult person, like my character wouldn't say this, or whatever. But I also give them alternate, like I'll usually do like 3 in a row, so I'll do it the way that it's written, and then I'll do 2 variations that I think work better for me. And I said, just so you have it, I just didn't, the first line, I don't know how well that gelled, but I gave you 2 alternates if you want. And sometimes I'll go, oh, that's great, we like your idea, we think that's better, it flows better, or whatever. And sometimes they're like, just take it as written, Gray, thanks.
Yeah, usually you can give them different, if you feel that something just doesn't feel organic, you can give them an alternate reading just so they have it in the can for editing if they want to use it. And then you do it the way it's scripted too. But the thing is, with every show I've done, I've been involved with the creators. So when Bruce Timm is in the booth, you don't mess with his lines.
I do.
You know what I mean?
I do. Totally mess with Bruce Timm.
No. So you don't get an opportunity to.
Thank you.
Sure.
Also, the Arkham people write things very British, so sometimes I've said, I don't know if we would say that, so they're like,
I had a lot of Britishisms.
Just change it.
Yeah, I had a lot of Britishisms too that I just I said, do you want this American or English?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Hi, this is for Kevin. I was wondering, what do you think of Christian Bale's Batman voice, and do you think you can say, I'm the goddamn Batman?
I am the goddamn Batman. I think he's a terrific Batman. I think he's a wonderful actor. And I think that the voice, a lot of people have the problem with the voice that he does as Batman, and I think it's just because it just doesn't sound organic. It sounds like he's putting it on. But he's, he's an amazing actor. And his choice to do a different voice, I completely agree with. Because, as we were talking about yesterday, Bruce Wayne's the wealthiest, most popular guy in Gotham City. Just putting on a cape and a cowl, people are going to know it's him. You know what I mean? So he's got to change his voice somehow. So I agree with the decision. I think it just didn't sound completely organic, which is the reason a lot of the audience, I think, doesn't react to it. Sure.
Hello. My first question goes to Ms. DeLisle. Do you think her imperial viciousness will return for Legend of Korra?
No, she won't be back. I mean, not so far, but I'm doing like 3 other characters, new characters for Korra, so I can't really say what they are, but they're not firebenders so far.
And my second question goes to both of you. Tara Strong last year told the story of getting a call at 3 a.m. and being annoyed and doing her Rugrats voice. I was wondering if you guys have ever done that in your actual lives, just switch to your Batman or your Azula voice.
I've done Azula to scare teenagers at Best Buy once. I was like, Tylee, get me 3 copies of 16 and Pregnant right now. Let's see if they have them. And then you guys were like, what? I just saw that they were looking at Avatar. I do an ugly voice when I didn't want to talk to a cute guy. I mean, like ugly guys or guys that I just wasn't interested in. They were like, like creepy guys. And I'd be like, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. And they're like, oh. Yeah. So you guys like gonna party or what? Let's like go do this. Anyway, so yeah.
Weirdest place I've done the voice. Oh, I know. This is a funny story. I was on my way to the studio, and it was an early morning shoot. It was like 5 a.m., and I had to drop my mail off at the Hollywood post office on the way. And it was dark out still, but they had the post office box is outside in the parking lot. So I pull into the parking lot, and I leave everything in the car, and I'm running from the car to the post office box, and there's this homeless guy sitting in the parking lot, the Hollywood parking lot, in the dark, and he goes, "Hey buddy, you got a $1?" And I said, I honestly, I don't have my wallet, I have nothing, all I have is my mail. And he goes, "Oh my God, you're Kevin Conroy."
I love your stories. I could listen to you talk all year.
And I was like, and I thought, did he read my name on my mail? He couldn't. It was too small. It's dark out. And I thought, is this an actor that I worked with who's now sleeping in a parking lot? So I thought, do I lie? I said, no, it happens all the time. No, I guess I better. I said, yeah. He said, you're Batman.
See what comics will get you?
I said, how do you know that? He said, oh man, I got Batman. He said, you know what I want you to do? I want you to do the voice. Just all I want you to say is, I am vengeance. Oh my God. So in the dark, in the Hollywood parking lot, I go, I am vengeance. He goes, oh, thank you, Jesus, I got Batman. Just say, I am the night. I said, I am the night. He said, okay, bring it home, Batman, bring it home. So I'm like, okay, just wait 1 second. And I go back to my car, and he goes, oh, I can't take Batman's money. I said, you're going to tell everyone Batman is cheap. You're going to take Batman's money.
We were backstage, and I go, didn't we just do this yesterday? Aren't they going to be bored with our stories? And he's like, yeah, I don't have any more good stories.
So I called Andrea Romano, and she loves, this is one of her favorite phone calls from me. I said, I found our audience. And he's sleeping in the Hollywood post office parking lot.
I have a really quick story about, because Andrea is so sweet, and she really, Billy West and Phil Lamar went to the public library to do this voiceover thing for the kids, just like talk to the kids about voiceovers. And apparently this other guy had wandered in and told them that he did voiceovers and he wanted to be part of the panel. And he was homeless. Like he had, they didn't know really if he was, but he had like kind of that, it's like, is he really tan or is it a little bit of coat of dirt or what? So he got up there on the panel and he's like, I do the voice of women of wrestling, wow. Or no, gorgeous ladies of wrestling, the glow boy. And he just, everything he said was like this. And so he did the panel and Billy was doing all these crazy like animals and dogs and cats and all this stuff, and Phil was doing all these amazing voices, and then they got to that guy and he's like, this is a little bird. And the kids are just like, what? And Billy and Phil are just like, what is going on? But apparently Andrea felt like she should help him out, and so she gave him a part.
Oh, cool.
She did. She gave him like a couple lines, but it seems like it's a really cool thing, but it just didn't end well because he kept calling her, and he was like, "Will there be water in the session?" And she's like, "Yeah, we've got bottled water." He's like, "Okay, is there a way that I could get my check at the session?" And she was like, "No, I think that we have to mail it to you." And he was like, and so he was just kind of like a lot of trouble. And then he got there and he had to say, yes, 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 no more arrows, no more guns, or something like that, but he was going, yes, yes, no more arrows, no more guns, and Andrea was like, yeah, but it's more like, here, she doesn't want to give you a line reading, she's really sweet, so she was like, just a little bit more descending, and so she's like, and then finally she was giving him line reading, it's like more like, yes, yes, no more arrows, no more guns, and he's like, yes, yes, no more arrows, no more guns, just like, it was just not, and so then she did one of the things where she was like, that's great, that's perfect, all right, we're moving on, and so, yeah, but, little bird. Anyway.
Thank you and have a good morning.
Thanks. He's like, well, that was a long answer.
That's way more than I wanted to hear.
First of all, sorry, but Catwoman is one of my favorite Batman characters.
He's pissed now. Thanks.
I'm so pissed.
But if you ever had to do a character that you've never done before, which one would you do?
I've always wanted to do, well, I used to always want to do Wonder Woman, but now I'm doing Wonder Woman in this new thing that's coming out, so.
Yay!
Yeah, but I love Poison Ivy too. I'm always like, jealous of people that get to do Poison Ivy. Yeah! You look awesome. I didn't even see you until right now. Oh, you look gorgeous. Yeah, so I think that's who I want to do. How about you?
It's just going to sound funny. When I went in to audition for the Batman series, I didn't want to audition for Batman. Because it's like, the hero. I wanted to play the villain. Or, the cops, Bullock. They say, don't you want me to play Bullock? Hey, get over here! And so they said, yeah, it's very interesting, but we've got someone already, So I was doing all these character voices, and they didn't want me to do that, so. Actors always want to do something goofy, something that's more of a stretch. But those would be fun roles.
I never wanted to play the ingenue, like in plays. I was always wanted to be the funny, weird one that comes in for like one scene and, then gets to sit backstage and talk to everybody for the rest of the time. Eat the craft service. Yeah. And at the end, everybody's like, you were great. The ingenue walks by and they're like, I just think she's all cute. You were funny. So anyway. Yeah.
Thank you and good morning.
Thank you. Thanks. I love your outfit.
Hi.
Hi.
So this is a kind of a two-part question, one for Kevin. Kevin, how do you feel about being Batman for over 20 years now? And for the both of you, for voice acting, did you ever think that it would be as popular today as it versus maybe about 30 years ago during the 80s?
That's an interesting question. It's really evolved. It's really evolved as animation evolved, and it really exploded. Because when I started doing this in '91, it was, it was a small thing on the side. It was something you did to kind of supplement your other work, your other income. But then it became this massive industry, that everyone wants to do now. And then you end up with this casting situation where all the film stars want to do it. so that it's harder for people to break into the business. No, it's really evolved dramatically. And no one ever thinks the job's going to go for 22 years. Believe me, that just doesn't happen. That was just weird, fluky luck.
Yeah, when we started doing Fairly Odd Parents, I was 25, and I always tell Butch, like, we grew up together. Like, I can't believe we're still doing this show. But what was the thing about what? Am I surprised? I hope that it goes on forever because I'm a little spazzy, in case you didn't notice. I'm not on drugs. I was watching that Dina Lohan interview with Dr. Phil, and I was like, what a weirdo, she's crazy. And I thought, I think that's how I act in interviews. Oh my God, I hope nobody thinks I'm on pills. So I was talking, no, so I don't know what I'm talking about. When I was working with June Foray, she's 93, I think, or maybe even older. I think she's 95, crazy.
Who is?
June Foray. She has this hot guy that drives her around and like helps her with her paperwork and everything. And I was like, I want that to be me. I'm still doing this when I'm 95. That's amazing. So hopefully, I don't know. I think they're gonna. All the on-camera people are afraid that they're going to be replaced by computer-generated images, and I was like, but they'll still need the voice. So we're safe.
Thank you so much.
Sure. Hi.
Hi. Yesterday you spoke about how the one contractor let you 3 voices on the same show.
Right.
What is talking to yourself like?
I do it all the time for free.
Talk to my shrink. He sees me talking to myself all the time. Well, no, you can do 3 different roles in a script, but they're not necessarily characters that talk to themselves. You know what I mean? They could be. But you've done a lot of different voices.
Sometimes they're like, do you want to do it separately, or do you want us to do like one character and the other character? I was sitting by Frank Welker when they asked me that a few weeks ago, and he was like, come on, pussy, just do it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I can't look bad in front of Frank, so I tried to do it. Sometimes it sucks, but sometimes it works, so I always challenge myself.
And Frank Welker is one of those guys who can do amazing.
We do this thing when we do ADR. If we get bored, I'll start trying to do the men in the ADR, like it's like a bar scene or whatever. I'm like, I try to do the guys, and he's like, oh my goodness, if somebody breaks it. We were doing it for like 10 minutes, and finally Glen's like, are you doing the men and he's doing the women? And I was like, yeah, we're bored. And she's like, no, don't do that.
He can do entire crowd scenes by himself.
And it sounds like there's overlap too. It sounds like he's like having
bizarre.
Yeah.
He's very talented.
It's amazing.
But it's fun doing different voices in the same episodes, because you get to stretch a little bit.
And also, sometimes it leads to way more work than, like, I swear, I've gotten so many, like, things from getting, like, one little tiny part that ends up just coming back because it's funny or whatever. I mean, like, was it Amazing Spider-Man? I did Sally Averill in, I think it was, like, Amazing Spider-Man.
I think it was the Spectacular Spider-Man.
Spectacular, I knew it was something good. I'm awful about remembering names. You're good. June's 95, and it was a Spectacular Spider-Man. But I was all sad because it was between me and Vanessa for Mary Jane, and so I was like really wanting to do that, and then I didn't get that, and she got it, but I was happy for her. She's one of my really good friends. But so I got this little part of Sally Averill, which was supposed to be like 2 lines, this annoying cheerleader who kind of talked like this. All right, Spider-Man, you think you're so funny. And so, but they just kept writing for Sally because she was just kind of funny, and so she was in every episode, and I think Mary Jane was only like in 3 of the 22 episodes. So then I was like, sorry, Vanessa. But so sometimes she'll do a part, and the writers just fall in love with this little tiny part, and I've done more series that actually, I get tons of episodes just because some stupid little 2-line part that kind of takes over. So, like when I did The Mighty Bee, there was a little character named, not Portia, but it was like, she kind of talked like this, and she was like really quiet. Oh God, I can't remember. She had like brown hair, and oh shoot, I can't remember. But anyway, she was in every episode, and she had like 1 line, so it's good. Hi.
So my question is, have you guys ever used any of your character voices to get out of trouble? Like a parking ticket, law enforcement, something like that.
Tom Kenny did.
Tom Kenny?
He was like, oh my God, he came to session and he's like, I feel like so dirty, I just want to go take a shower. And I go, what? And he goes, I got pulled over for a parking ticket and I totally pulled out the SpongeBob. And I was like, what? He was like, I feel awful. So the guy pulled me over and he was about to write a ticket. He said, do you have kids? I'm SpongeBob. You know? He said, but the officer totally like hounded him for that autograph too. Like he didn't give him the ticket, but he said he kept calling him like, so you're gonna mail that autograph, right? Like you the autograph. So. I don't have anything that big that a cop would even know. I guess Daphne, they might know, but. Jeepers, officer, don't give me a ticket. Be a creepy cop.
I always assumed it would be a completely anonymous job, and for a long time it was. But then then it became more.
Then you meet more homeless people.
No, I think with the internet, people got, they can Google your name, and so people get. So I was in making a perfectly legal turn, but I made it a little wide. But it was totally legal. I didn't do anything illegal, and this cop pulls me over. And he says, you made that turn very wide back there. I said, well, I'm not from here. It was, I just didn't know this area, but I didn't know anything. He said, let me just see your license and registration. And I thought, oh, this guy's going to be a real stickler. I didn't do anything illegal, but I just a little wide on the turn. So he looks at the license and he goes, oh, God, that's got to be a weird name to have, huh? I said, what do you mean? He said, well, that's the name of the guy who does Batman.
No stories. He was out of stories backstage.
Funny. I said, that's me. He said, oh, bullshit. I said, what do you want me to say? He said, oh, man, Batman. I said, I'm Batman. So you can let Batman go?
Because he let you go, he lost his job and ended up at the post office.
And that's the guy sleeping in the post office, right?
Thanks, you guys.
Sure.
I have a question for Kevin. So according to the website, you played Hamlet. Is that true?
Versions of Hamlet. I haven't played Hamlet. I played Laertes.
Oh, okay. Well, while you were playing Hamlet, did you have any, Laertes, I'm sorry. Did you have any favorite lines that you said?
It was a long time ago. Sorry. That was for Joseph Papp at the Public Theater. That was a long time ago. I don't really remember.
I played Ophelia, and I can't remember many lines. So that's Rosemary, that's for remembrance. But I totally lost my mind when I played Ophelia.
Well,
I did it in Seattle, and it's like really dark there. I know your question was for Kevin. So.
Okay.
No, you don't want to hear my dumb story. No, I had really long hair, like down to my butt, and then they don't let you cut your hair when you're in a play. Like you can't do anything without asking the costume people. And so as soon as it was over, I think I had that light deprivation craziness. I don't remember, it's called sad or something like that. Yeah, I was sad. I was very sad, Ophelia. Plus I went crazy like 6 nights a week. So as soon as the play was over, I got a Flowbee, those things that hook up to the vacuum cleaner. And I Flowbeed the hell out of my hair. Like it was like that short, all over. From being down here, oh, I was sad after that. So then I had to go to Supercuts to fix it, which you messed up your hair when you go to Supercuts to fix it. So, yeah. So then I was a cute little pixie girl.
Aww.
Everybody thought I was a lesbian, which I didn't care. Maybe I took advantage sometimes.
Oh,
It was college, everybody was
I was running to make an entrance. There was an entrance coming in under the audience, and I was running in, and there had been padding over this concrete beam that someone in the crew had removed. And it was totally black coming in on the and I come running on and I go, wow! Back on my back on the ground. And I jump up and I go running on stage and I'm acting. And I'm like rubbing my head to make sure everything's okay. And I'm rubbing my head and I'm acting. I'm looking at my hands and there's a little bit of blood. and then I'm rubbing more to make sure the blood was getting bad, and there's a little bit more blood, and then I'm looking, and then I see little pots of blood on the floor, and then I feel this starting to happen.
Oh no.
And then Bob Gunton, who was playing the king, looks at me and he goes, and I realize there's blood pouring down my head. And so what do? I'm on stage. I said, excuse me, I have to leave the stage. I'm sorry. And everyone went, oh, there's an actor leaving the stage. Oh my God. So I go backstage and like everyone's running around backstage, frantic. And they lead me to the bathroom and I'm there, my head's over the sink and there's just blood pouring. And then the paramedics come in, these big cops who were so sweet. They go, buddy, you got more than just a scalp wound there. So they ended up going to the hospital. They had to do stitches across. I have a big scar going across my head.
God.
So the scalp had severed down to the skull. And they showed me the x-rays in the ER and they said, do you realize how lucky you are? They said, the skull went like this. It was like this massive bump, but nothing had cracked. And there was no concussion or anything. It had just like sawed in a lawn. The skin had severed. So if I ever go bald, I'm screwed. Because I've got this big scar that goes. Yeah, just that's my Hamlet story.
Thank you very much. I have a good theater story. It didn't happen to me, but it was West Side Story when I was doing the spotlight, and somebody had forgotten to put the gun on the prop table. Like there was no gun on the prop table. So when they went out there to grab the gun, there was no gun. So Chino beat Tony to death with a shoe. He took his shoe off.
Oh my God.
And then when Maria came out, she was like, "This is the shoe? Will this shoe kill me or you? This is the shoe that you give me."
Hi guys.
Hi.
So I've got a question. Great. So I know you did a voice for Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. It's like a two-part question. So how was it like working with Mr. Kojima, and are you going to be involved in more future Metal Gear games?
Metal Gear games? I don't think I'm in anything in the future, but I did Amanda in Peace Walker, and I didn't work with him. I just worked all by myself. But I remember they did do the weird camera stuff on your face, and it was weird. I kept thinking, oh, I hope that they don't do this for all kinds of games, because I kind of felt like I couldn't move or act, like I kind of felt like stuck, but I was honored to be in one of the Metal Gear games. That was amazing. Yeah. I have one more theater story for you.
No.
I just remember one time they clipped one of those the body mics, the box that they have where they have to clip it onto. Well, they clipped it. All they had was my thong underwear, and I had this dress that went up, how it was long in the back, but it went up to my knees in the front. And as I'm on stage, I can feel the thing pulling my underwear down, and pretty soon I'm waddling around the stage, and pretty soon just under my dress you could just see this box hanging from my thong underwear.
Oh no!
I just waddled off the stage. So anyway, let's talk about celebrities. Oh, it was The Wiz. I was Ada Pearl. Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
First of all, love your work and everything. I love Superman, Tom, Batman.
Oh,
Thank you.
My question
Why so serious?
was if you had just not into just someone out of one base, if you had one sort of tip or sort of advice you could give any aspiring voice actor or actress, just as a basic thing if they're trying to make it in this business, what would that be?
Well, I think we both think that the theater is really important in terms of experience and stretching. Just stretch. Just, do different characters. And the theater's where you do it. Much more so than anywhere else.
Yeah, because I've noticed a lot of on-camera people can be small, and a lot of times you have to just be bigger than you ever could imagine it to be. Do it to where it seems weird, and that's about right. Because sometimes they're really trying to pull it out of people that, I worked with Dennis Hopper and he's amazing. I mean, on camera he was amazing, but he was just too small for the cartoon. It was just not coming across. In the booth, when I was watching his face, it was beautiful, but when I listened to it later, it seemed really flat, because I think that a lot of people that just do on camera are used to using their face and stuff to convey a lot of the emotions, but when you're just doing your voice, you have to have everything in your voice, and so if anything's just filtered out to your face, it doesn't make it across. So yeah, theater and acting is really important. People think that you can just put on a voice or just do an accent, and it's not about, it's from the inside out rather than like putting on. So, yeah. I mean, if you saw Tom Kenny work, he stands up every time and he's just like moving and he's just like does everything. He's completely in it, like from the inside out, so. Yeah.
Sure.
Hey, fact checker.
All right, first question from my buddy Sean. Are there any toys based on your characters that you like to collect or like proud to have? Then the request I'll get to later.
They give us a bunch of things from the shows, and my son is 6.
Aww.
So he's always like looking out for stuff, that's coming home with me. So if there's anything that's collectible that probably could have been worth some money on eBay, it's already like got like makeup drawn on it and crazy stuff. He tends to abuse his toys.
I had a guy at the last Comic-Con come up and give me a gift of a Kevin Conroy action figure. And it looked exactly like me.
Which is weird.
I mean, it was me. But it had like Batman's body. And I thought, oh, that is so me. How did you get my body so right? No, but it was so thoughtful. It was, just this gesture, and it's what he does. He has a company that does these things. Isn't that cool?
It's amazing that he got it right, because usually they don't look anything like the person.
They look nothing like. So I tracked him down by his email address on the toy, and I ordered 24 of them, and I sent them out to all my friends for Christmas.
Wally Winger, the voice actor, made this bobblehead of himself and gave it out to everybody. So every time he saw it, he was like, did you get the bobblehead? Did you get a bobblehead? Because he ordered like so many of them that he had them like in the trunk of his car. So every time you went to a session, you just see this like head of Wally Winger. You're just like, yeah.
All right, now request. Kevin, would you mind playing doing an improvised scene of being an imaginary person who believes he's a superhero while Ray plays Frankie Foster's?
Imaginary person who thinks he's a superhero.
Like an imaginary friend, because Foster's home for imaginary friends.
Yeah. An imaginary friend. I don't get it.
Yeah, you're basically like a person who's trying to get Ray's attention, and you're like being so happy, full of yourself, and Ray interacts.
He's a frustrated director here. He's a frustrated director. Like, action!
Great, I'm just not making my point.
Supro, you're not really a superhero, so just stop trying to get my attention.
Why don't you find me attractive?
Blue, get rid of this guy.
For Gray,
Aww.
I like you as Princess Azula. Do you think sometime you could act in front of a camera?
I could do what? Acting from the camera. When I first moved to Los Angeles, I did some acting in front of the camera, and I wasn't cute enough. No. I did that 70s show. I played the the English teacher on that 70s show that was on Caroline in the City, and I did some pilots and stuff. I did like this teeny little part in Mad Men that's coming up, just because they wanted Daphne to be in Mad Men. So, but it's like 10 minutes. If you blink, you'll miss it. But so I still do a little bit of things, little movies and stuff, but I like the voiceover stuff best because it matters about what's in here rather than what's out here. Because a lot of times you go to auditions and they just like look you up and down, and it's all about just your outside, and I'd rather show off my inside. Woo! Thank you for your question. Bye, honey. Thank you.
I was wondering what your favorite part of being a voice actor was.
The money. Just the people that you get to
Yeah, I
work
think it's
with.
the people you meet.
Yeah. When I work by myself, I'm always like, oh, I get out faster, but I almost would rather stay there longer and just see my buddies. Because there's like there's one person that I don't like.
Oh.
But there's like there's not all, everybody else is like really cool.
Who is it?
No, I can't ever tell.
No, when the Batman animated series, after it had done like 100 episodes, they took out a 2-page ad in Variety to thank everyone who had worked on the show over the previous like 3 or 4 years, whatever it had been. The names on those 2 pages were unbelievable. When you put it all down on paper like that, you thought, oh my God, every week we've gotten to work with all of these incredible people. So I think
Except
that's
for
the
the
most fun part. Huh?
I said except for the one that I don't
Except for
like.
that one guy. No, that's the most fun part of doing this job, is because as word went out about Batman, I'm sure you had this experience with your show too, when word gets out that a show is really fun to do, everybody wants to do it. And so Andrea Romano could get anyone she wanted to come on as guests on the shows. So we got all kinds of phenomenal people that, I never thought I'd get a chance to work with.
Yeah.
So that was the most fun part about it.
Yeah, Scooby's like that. We work with so many amazing people, and they just think it's cool to be on Scooby. They always want the line of like, if it wasn't for you pesky kids, I would have gotten away with it. They're like, I got the pesky kids line. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
You
Hi.
again.
Hello.
Okay, I had to come back because my friends told me I had to ask this question because they can't be here. So, okay, the question is for Kevin, but I also have one for Greg.
That's all right.
They want to know, how come you're not always Batman?
Oh.
Because whenever other people go and do the part for the other DC, direct video ones, that it's not the same. Because as everyone says, you are the goddamn Batman. Why does anyone else need to come in here and do it? Because
I appreciate that. Thank you.
my friend in Hawaii
Well,
said that about Under the Red Hood. He was
Let's
like,
get a mailing campaign going on to Warner Brothers. We want more Kevin Conroy. No, what it is directors want to put their own stamp on things. That's what it's about. And some people just want to, they just want to shake it up. They just want to get a different sound. It has nothing to do with not liking what I do. It's about thinking they might be able to find something else. The same reason they had, George Clooney and Michael Keaton and Val Kilmer and, all these different actors do Batman before they got Christian Bale. They were just trying different people to see what different people brought to it. So I don't take it personally when they don't use me. I think it's a terrible failure on their part.
Yes.
But I don't take it personally. Thank you.
Side story, but my friend was dating Jeff Goldblum, and he said,
Your poor friend.
I know, she was a beautiful blonde bimbo. Yeah, we're not friends anymore. But she had this other friend, our other friend, who's like really serious and kind of, just like glasses and just more conservative. Well, Jeff Goldblum said, I want to set you up with my friend Michael Keaton. I want to set you up with my friend Michael Keaton. And she was like, Michael Keaton, oh my God. So she like went out and spent a ton of money on this outfit for this date they were all going to go on. So she gets to the restaurant and there's our bimbo friend, then Jeff Goldblum, and then this little Japanese man, and then one other seat. And she's like, where's Michael Keaton? But she's like, oh, sorry. So she sits down and she spent like her whole paycheck on this outfit. And she's like, when is Michael Keaton getting here? And they're like, oh no, this is Michael Keaton. Anyway, I have a lot of just stories that just kind of.
I love your stories.
I have to say, yeah, he said he was out, and then he just brought out 3 fantastic stories.
Kevin Conroy.
That was so good.
Okay, and then one more question for Kevin. Is there any chance or any rumors that there's going to be an all-star Batman or Robin?
An all-star what?
All-star Batman or Robin animated movie?
Not that I know. Not that I know.
Okay. Because I mean, they already did All-Star Superband, so I'm waiting for an All-Star, just so I can hear you throughout the whole thing saying you're the goddamn Batman. That's all I really care about.
Thank you.
And for Gray,
Oh yeah.
you got to work with Neil Patrick Harris, and I want to know how awesome that was. I mean, he's so adorable.
He is.
And he just seems so awesome. Like, I want to know how
Well,
awesome
we did our duet for Batman, and but we never met when we did our duet. So when I did Adventure Time, I saw him there, and I was like, hey, we did our duet together, and he gave me a big hug, and he's like, oh my god, yeah, I love that. And so he's really sweet, but we didn't meet until much later. Yeah. Like Kevin,
So
I just met Kevin like yesterday.
You did a duet with him and you didn't do it together?
No.
Oh, that's
He
fascinating.
wasn't available. I think he was in New York or something.
That's fascinating.
Hello, I'm a fan of your guys' work. I was just curious, I know you guys were talking about recording for a video game. How is it different recording for like animated series, like when you're recording as opposed to doing a video game?
Well, the thing I love about working for Andrea is that she always wants to get the actors together. At Disney, they often like to record people separately. Has that been your experience?
Yeah.
So that they have, when they record you separately, they have a completely clean take that they can really control in post-production perfectly. But they don't get the kind of performance that they would get if you were acting with other actors. So Andrea always wants to get the group together, as many of the group as she can. So you go into these recording sessions, that's what I meant earlier when I said one of the best things about doing this job is the actors you work with. She tries to get everyone together, so there'll be 6, 8, sometimes 10 actors in a big recording room together, just bouncing these lines off each other, and it's a blast. So,
She always does read-throughs first, though. I love her, but they always go, we liked how you did the read-through, and I was like, why didn't we record the damn read-through then? Damn! I never can recapture what my first impulse was.
yeah, no, the first take is always the best.
Yeah.
You know. But
it's good when you didn't read the script, because I'm like, oh, I'm working with Andrea, we'll do a read-through first, so I don't need to read it.
So it's just working with the other actors. It's such a blast.
Cool. I have one more question. In Batman the Animated Series, there's a point where Batman is yelling at Harley Quinn, when she pushes a button in his car. Can you redo that for me if you can?
What did he say?
He said, listen and listen good. You don't touch anything, say anything, or do anything unless I tell you.
Listen good. You don't touch anything, do anything, and say anything until I say to. Got it?
Well, thank you.
Okay, we're gonna wrap it up now.
I think I know more people in line after these 3, so.
Here we go.
Yes, I have a question for Kevin. I was wondering, can you react your line from Batman the Animated Series, but add a little something different when he was about to take out Clayface, when he would say this, look at what you used to be. You were an amazing actor. You had talent. You were just as every bit as beautiful as Jennifer Lopez, but now you look like a piece of Play-Doh that kids roll up.
I think he did it better. I think he did it.
I think you just did it fine.
Look, did you say it in your Batman voice? It was a line you did in the animated series.
But he only did it one time, like a long time ago. It's hard to remember all
I
that.
don't even remember the line, to tell you the truth.
Could you do it to the best of your knowledge?
Yeah.
It was from Fate of Clay Part 2.
Dude, he doesn't watch the
what is the line
DVDs.
Look at what you used to be. You had talent. You were an amazing actor. You were just as every bit as beautiful as Jennifer Lopez.
Look at what you used to be. You were an amazing talent. You had great talent. You were almost as good as Jennifer Lopez.
Thank you very much.
Here we go.
Okay, so our question kind of goes together, but first of all, we want to say, for both Kevin and Greg, Batman Animated Adventures, every day after school, we would watch that. And for you, you did, Greg, you did like, you were in every single cartoon growing up. Like, your voice, you can never pin it. Now growing up with IMDb and stuff, I was like, oh my God, she was in everything. So we just want to say thank you for making our childhood rock.
Thank you. That's great.
My question first is for both Kevin and Gray. I want to ask you guys, what is your favorite voice character pretty much that you've done throughout your career?
What is the one?
Azula's definitely my favorite. Yeah.
Well, that's basically what I've done. Or Captain Wonderful. That was pretty wild.
And the first one for both of you, what are your favorite shows that you've done? And the second one for Kevin, what was your favorite episode that you remember on the Batman animated series?
My favorite episode was Perchance to Dream.
Oh,
It's really interesting. And the favorite show I've ever done, I did a play on Broadway called Eastern Standard. I was really proud of. That got a lot of attention. And I did a TV movie called Face of Fear, where I played a serial killer. That I really had a lot of fun. I found my inner self. So, I think everyone has a lot of things that are their favorites, you know, don't you?
Yeah, well, I mean, Avatar definitely, just because the writing and the character development is so dense and beautiful, and I'm so in awe of Mike, and those guys are just amazing creators. And but my most fun that I've ever had is doing Tough Puppy, on Nickelodeon. We just laugh our asses off. And my mom came there once and she was like, "You guys are annoying. I can't understand anything you're saying," because we're all laughing at each other's jokes and doing impressions, and it's like it's all inside jokes, and this is probably boring for anybody who's not immediately involved, but we have a blast. So yeah.
all right, thank you.
Sure.
Thank
you, everybody.
And that's all the time we have. Thank you all so much for coming out, and thank you both for a wonderful band.
Go to BKBN.net. Go to BKBN.net. Go to BKBN.net. I tell you to go. Go now.